let's see. I was talking about the pristine past, the better past, and all these befores. Um, how many did I have? And all the befores belong to a pristine greater past. And it was before abortion rights, which have now are being eliminated, before contraception was legal, before voting rights became law, and people, black people, brown people were guaranteed the right to vote, and before recent trials of policemen for brutality and murder, and before the passage of the Equal Opportunity Act, which allowed black people to both gain employment and progress in employment. There was no, and women as well, and there was no recourse. You know, if you were treated unfairly, there was no recourse. I talked about before the Fair Housing Act, when black people, brown people could be discriminated against, LGBTQ people. Okay. So I talked about those things, and before there were environmental protections, before EPA, I think EPA is one of the targeted agencies to be eliminated. Okay. And then I got to before labor laws. Before unions have been weakened, and I was saying that it was labor unions that gained a 40-hour work week and holidays and other protections that were spread throughout the work sector. Okay, still there. Okay, but I wanted to tell you a story that my father told me when I was young. When I was probably about 12 years old or so, maybe a little older. We had a new housing addition, and the little box houses, they were great with the picture window, and there was a horseshoe of these houses, and they looked so new and so pretty. My mother dreamed of one of those, a little new house. We lived in an old one. Okay. And he drove me through those new houses, and he said, these people would never have these homes. These houses would not be here if it were not for unions. And so I've always been a union supporter. I get it. Okay. The articles for the weakening of labor unions and what that means. The first article is U.S. union membership rate hits fresh record low in 2023. Labor Department. That's the title. U.S. union membership rates hits fresh record low in 2023. Labor Department. And this is from Reuters. It's Reuters. Reuters, by Dan Burns. Burns. Burns, Dan. January 23, 2024. And the next source I have, if you're interested in these, okay, I want to source everything that I say. This isn't, it's more than opinion. I'm trying to substantiate it with worthy news sources. Okay, Reuters is a good source. And now I have quote titled "Decline of Labor Unions Weakens American Democracy." That title again is "Decline of Labor Unions Weakens American Democracy." And that is from the Economic Policy Institute Working Economics blog by Adam Dean, D-E-A-N, Jamie McCallum, Jamie, J-A-M-I-E, McCallum, N-C-M-C, big C, A-L-L-U-M. People spell names, they come in a variety. Jamie McCallum, M-C-C-A-L-L-U-M, and Jake Grumbach, I guess. Jake Grumbach, G-R-U-M-B-A-C-H. And that was published January 23, 2024. And the next thing I have is majorities of adults see decline of union membership as bad for the U.S. and working people. And that is, title again, is majorities of adults see decline of union membership as bad for the U.S. and working people. And that comes from the Pew Research Institute by Ted Van Green. Ted, V-A-N, space Green, G-R-E-E-N. No E after it, G-R-E-E-N. March 12, 2024. Okay? And I'll kind of go through these quickly without as much documentation because I feel like they're a little better known. Before political correctness, when any insulting names or descriptions of minorities could be used with impunity. Okay? That's a big before. There are a lot of white people that have really resented that. I don't know why. It seems that people should be called what they want to be called. Not too much to ask. And denigrating people. I'm 75 years old. When I went to school, I heard lots of things. We had integrated when I was in the second grade, but teachers said what they wanted to say. And it was bad. Okay. Most grade school teachers were better. I don't think that they were friendly with their black students. Okay, so we'll say before political correctness. Before OSHA, the governmental agency which protects workers, ensuring Americans of workplace safety. That would go bye-bye. And I think it's been undermined. We're seeing more child labor. Okay. And also, before Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, Social Security or Medicaid, about 1968, those were enacted. And these are something old people depend upon. That's something your grandparents depend on. And something that your own parents will depend on if you're young. I'm speaking to a young person. Mm-hmm. It's very important. Medicaid is there in the states, but we've seen it undermine. Some states are very withholding. Missouri would not, I live in Missouri, Missouri would not expand Medicaid, even though under Obamacare, they provided funding for that expansion. No, we don't want people to have health care. God forbid. If you can't afford it, you don't deserve it. Right? No. And all these people that go into Congress get wonderful health care. Okay. Before. Always before. Before any kinds of fair treatment or any path to redress. Yes, before, when things were perfect. Does that sound perfect? Do you want our nation to go backward and stagnate? Do you want a fascist nation? What I am telling you, all these befores, and I'm trying to back it up with respectable sources and factual reportage, are the characteristic strategies of fascism and exactly what should be expected if Donald J. Trump wins the 2024 election. So it is extremely important to register and to vote. And I think my thing is off. Okay, all right.